Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So first of all, tell me your name and your business.
I'm Debbie White, and my business is Vista Life Counseling Center.
Cool. So you're a counselor.
I am a counselor.
And so tell me, I can imagine the stresses with counseling. So tell me your stresses with counseling.
My stresses with counseling. Early on, when I first started being a therapist, the issue of taking home your clients'
Right.
problems, and that I had to work through that and being able to separate and compartmentalize their issues from my life. And it took a couple of years, but I was able to figure out how to do that. So now that's a lot less stress, knowing how to do that. I think the billing and the paperwork has probably always been my biggest stressor, and making sure that I have the Medicaid rules followed and the insurance rules followed and everything is done in case of an audit.
Right.
Those are really more stressors for me than the actual client work. The other is working for professionals in the field. You know, when I sit at a table with, several attorneys and several professionals from the Department of Social Services and et cetera, those get pretty stressful. And decision makings around the children that I would work with.
So it sounds as if your ideal business would be just to do the counseling and to have someone else take care of the paperwork and the structure of the business, right?
Or to have totally self-pay clients where they can come in and they pay cash. And so there's no bureaucracy connected to any of the billing or paperwork.
Right.
And that's a whole different genre of clients. Which we do have those as well.
Okay. And you've hired a couple employees in the past, right?
Not hired, but we have
Contracted them out,
more
maybe?
contracted, yes.
And so, what's your opinion of contracting help?
Well, for us, it was very separate from what we were doing, and it was sharing the business, sharing the rent, that kind of thing, and it was fine. It worked out very well for us. Yes.
Good deal. Good deal. And so, where do you see your business? In like 3 or 4, 5 years down the road. What would you ideally like to be doing, and how would you like to see it grow?
Well, right now, because I am a stay-at-home mom, the days that I'm not working and homeschooling, 2 days a week in the office is really all I can manage and be able to manage everything else. I think at some point I would like us to see my husband and I are both in this business, and that we would both become, once we retire from everything else, we can do this full-time. And then that we would look at growth and see how that would grow. That would be more towards getting a PhD, writing a book, beginning to write articles, which probably needs to happen now, but those are the goals that we would see in the future.
Great. Good deal. And so, is your husband in agreement with this plan or the idea that y'all would be in to work together? And does that work okay for you guys to work so closely together?
It does. And lots of people are surprised by that, but we got our masters together, and that was in marriage and family therapy. And so we worked out a lot of issues going through marriage and family therapy together.
So they have a course on how to work with your husband and work with your spouse in their master's program.
Well, when we went through classes, it was great fun actually. You're learning how to do testing, so you take the test, or you learn how to do marriage work, and so you work on each other in the class. There's a lot of practical experience, doing the classes together, and then we had a lot of intern hours we did co-therapy together, and we did it with other students, and we also did it with outside clients that would come in, and we would be under a video camera with supervision, and so we did all of that together. So when we left there, we were prepared to work together. It was a great experience for us. And then we began a job together as marriage and family therapists in a mental health center in Gastonia. And started a new program together called Family Preservation, and we started that, and we were the two leaders of that program, and that worked out fabulous. Some of the companies have a nepotism rule where you can't work with your spouse, and so we had to find a job that didn't have that rule. So, and since then have worked together, and it has really become, we are each other's supervisor, client, clinical supervisor, correction, and it works out nicely.
Great. Wonderful. Well, in our course in the entrepreneurship program, we read a book about entrepreneurs and how that an entrepreneur, it kind of assumed that entrepreneurs want to grow their business into a world-class company. Well, the more I'm talking to people, the more I'm finding out that that's not everybody's dream.
Right.
And it sounds the same way for you, that you're okay with it not growing into a business to reproduce itself,
Right.
that you like being small, in control of it, and it's a good way of life for you.
Yes. I think if we saw it as a way to make more of a world-class business, for us, we wouldn't have the time to manage that, and it would definitely be, we'd be in a place where we would have to begin to hire people to do that.
Right.
And we're right at that line right now, and we don't want to cross that line. So
Right.
we're keeping it where we can maintain it together.
Right.
And that works for us right now in our lifestyle.
Now, has anyone ever suggested or bank ever required financial statements or a business plan or anything from you to where you could borrow money for the business or anything like that? Have you ever considered doing a business plan for your business?
Early on when we first started it, we did a real structured business plan, and we pretty much held to that since we started. We have decided not to take loans out for the business, which means we rent our building, we don't own our building. And we've played with the idea of if we should go ahead, but because we both work part-time in the business,
Right.
once again, we've kept it where we aren't, if one of us needed to step down, we wouldn't have a mortgage payment that we would have to be responsible for.
Right.
So we've kept it, we've made our choices to keep it right at the line where we would have flexibility
Yeah.
and that we wouldn't have too big of a responsibility to carry so that the stress would be too high.
Right.
And so we've been able to maintain that, and that's been a big part of our decision making.
Good deal. Well, thank you so much.
Yes.
You did a great job.